Today, we are going to talk about Bimodal IT and its impact on project managers. We'll go through a brief definition of what Bimodal IT is and why organizations are moving to it. And then we'll also talk about what are the changes that are going to happen as organizations move to Bimodal IT. And then conclude with a discussion on what is the impact of this on project managers. Let's discuss what Bimodal IT means. And in this picture, you see an IT executive sitting, relaxed and with peace of mind, trying to get to that place where you don't feel any stress. Right? That's what most of us try to get to. So most IT executives prefer to have stability and peace of mind as far as their IT infrastructure and software goes. You want it to be stable. You don't want any issues, so you don't have to deal with staying up late to fix these issues. But businesses, on the other hand, want to move at the speed of lightning. So they need speed and agility. If they don't have speed and agility, the competition's going to run circles around them, and eventually the company will start losing customers and start losing revenue. So you need both. You need stability and peace of mind, and you also need speed and agility. That's what's called as bimodal. You need to be able to operate both in a stable manner as well as in an agile manner. The stability really means you're going to have your core systems perform consistently without any issues, and you introduce any changes needed to those systems in a very careful manner, like you've been doing in a traditional world where you put it through rigorous process, test everything to make sure nothing's going to break when you release it into production. Now, how do you become agile when your core mantra is to have a stable environment? Well, for one, you look at processes and innovation separately and start putting those together in an agile manner. You need to introduce your changes that's going to improve your customer service, increase revenue, increase quality. You move forward, get it out there, test it quickly with a portion of your environment if you can, and then slowly move it into your stable part of your infrastructure to make sure that your core customers are not impacted, but they gain the advantages that are being introduced. So that's what's called as bimodal. Now, let's talk about stability and agility, especially as it relates to this context. Stability is really the traditional way of doing things where people are more comfortable with how changes are made and how you introduce a change into the environment. This is more important for ongoing operations because you cannot affect existing customers or operations. Changes are introduced more carefully. You go through rigorous quality tests and introduce it when you're comfortable that it's not going to have any impact on the organization or its customers. Tools that are used today for stable environments don't provide all of the collaboration needed to complete the process. Disparate tools are being used even for basic collaboration, so you end up using a lot of different tools, and that causes additional time to be taken to deliver whatever it is you're delivering. Now, agility, on the other hand, really means you need to move fast to gain competitive advantages. You introduce changes in smaller increments. Sales cycle has to be reduced. Internet-based consumer brands need to find out how new changes affect their clicks and adjust quickly, sometimes in hours or minutes. You need to develop capability to deploy and roll back quickly, and that's why people are moving more and more towards a strong DevOps methodology. Innovation needs to be tried out quickly, and if it doesn't work, you need to make tweaks to it without affecting the rest of the business. You need more integrated tools, but they are only available for software development today. Most organizations are tied to one or the other way of doing things. Since Agile is the newer of the two concepts of delivery, let's take a look at where we are with Agile. Agile processes lend themselves more readily to sales and marketing type applications where feedback can be obtained rather quickly to see if your innovation works. Agile methods are also primarily based on co-location of resources and have an over-reliance on verbal communication. What I mean by that is Agile teams are more effective when the resources working on the project are located in close proximity, and they can communicate more easily in a verbal or in-person way of communication. And they could also use whiteboards, etc., to do things. Now, the response to agility has been in various modes, and there's been a proliferation of agile development methodologies and tools, and sometimes it's used as an excuse for unstructured development, whereas in most cases I would say that people have fixed time frames within which to deliver things and follow a rigorous methodology to deliver things quickly. In today's world, employees are used to a lot of tools they use in their personal life. They have social media, they use Facebook, they use LinkedIn, they use all kinds of social media out there, and they also have chat applications they use to chat with their friends. They use email as a mode of communication. Voice over IP tools are proliferating today. People use voice over IP instead of their phones. The traditional phone lines are going away. People do video calls. They do conference calls with their friends right off of their phone, or sometimes they subscribe to conference call programs. They collaborate online to do their various social activities using tools available, and they also do video conferencing. So what happened is that every employee now is a digital employee. Organizations today are more diverse, they're more spread out, so they have employees in different parts of the world, and they need to be able to collaborate. And the expectation from these digital employees is that the company provides them the same kind of capabilities they have in their personal lives. People expect to have an enterprise social media where they can share ideas and work with other folks in the company. Chat has been around for a while, even in the enterprise, so is email. More companies are moving towards voice over IP. Video calls are becoming more prominent with tools like Skype for Office. Conference calls have already been in use. Office collaboration tools. Now, this is a new breed of tool that enables people to collaborate on the same documents and work on different parts of the document. This is becoming more popular, and of course video conferencing is another tool that is used by these organizations to connect their global teams spread across different geographic regions. So digital tools are also changing the way people work, as well as they are an expectation that organizations will provide to make things easier for this generation of digital employees. We talked about bimodal IT, and how things are changing and what the future expectations are. We also talked about digital tools and what the expectations are, both from two different points of view, one from the organizational point of view, the other one from a employee point of view. So let's see how evolution of change delivery has happened in IT over the last 20-25 years. Now, we go back to the 1990s. Systems were simpler. Project management started to evolve as a discipline within technology management. Project managers were used to help the IT manager manage and plan the timelines, track costs, and produce status reports, etc. And the IT manager was still responsible to deliver the solution. Now, forward over to the 2000s, the systems became more complex, and changes involved multiple systems and multiple IT managers, and hence slowly the PM became the focal point for all of these deliveries. Now, it evolved to a point where eventually the PM was asked to take ownership of everything related to the change, and a lot of IT managers didn't spend enough time on the solution, and that led to issues with quality and poor deliverables. If the person responsible for the solution is not involved, obviously the solution is not going to be as good as it should be. And the PM was blamed for everything. So what happened is smaller companies started going back to the early days and reintroduced the process of the IT manager owning the delivery, and started calling it Agile, and this subsequently grew into a methodology. Now, as we talked about a little bit earlier, in the last several years now, the concept of bimodal IT has been formed with an emphasis on both stability and agility. Now, how this plays out remains to be seen. It's going to be a challenge, put in two different cultures within the same organization, but the ones that are successful in doing that are going to be leaders, and the ones that don't are going to fall by the wayside. We just discussed how change delivery has progressed over the last 20-25 years. Now, Gartner has predicted in its Predicts 2016 review that 60% of the current IT project managers will be replaced by other leadership roles within 2020 as enterprises move into the digital world. Now, 60% is a little over half of all IT project managers will not be project managers anymore. Really, what does that mean? How do we look at it? Do we basically say, oops, the glass is now half empty, or do we really look at it as half full? What does it really mean? It's really looking at it, if 50% of the work or 40% of the work moves away and is consumed by other roles, now isn't that really bimodal? And enterprises are moving into the digital business. Now that's going to take up probably 40% or probably even a higher percentage of current IT project managers away from the traditional project management field. So what does that really mean? In today's world, the project manager performs the following roles. They get involved with governance and helping upper management make decisions in terms of the project as well as the portfolio. They are intimately involved with the planning of projects as well as execution and closing of the project. They are primarily involved in making sure that the change that the project is trying to make gets done correctly and released into the production environment. Now, in order to make bimodal a reality, the digital tools are what are going to make that possible. right? Tools that provide integrated capabilities need to incorporate digital capabilities into their tools. Your PPM and Agile tools will be replaced by integrated configurable tools that manage technology as a whole as opposed to Agile or Waterfall. I think there's going to be a convergence of the governing, planning, execution into a unified tool that has the integrated digital capabilities, has the ability to allow for collaboration between employees involved in the project and those that are not involved in the project, and you'll go away from using multiple tools to a unified tool that is capable of providing you end-to-end control of the process so that change delivery can happen smoothly. Now, let's take a look at what's needed in the bimodal world. Now, anytime there is a need, there is also an opportunity. So we can take a look at the needs and see what opportunity it provides. First of all business applications that are used in the industry today need to be transitioned to the digital world. And why is that? If you don't transition, your competitors are going to run circles around you because they're going to be able to provide that stable environment needed for your ongoing business operations, as well as they're going to be agile to where they could introduce new things quickly and react to market opportunities quickly. So let's look at what the opportunity is, right? The new software providing these capabilities need to be implemented, deployed, and managed. So that's an opportunity for people who would like to move to those kind of roles. Now, the tools used have to be transitioned into the digital world as well. And when I mean tools, I'm talking about the digital collaboration and communication tools. They need to be implemented. A lot of companies don't have those tools implemented. In order for you to leverage the tools, you got to implement it, and then you implement it within your business applications to improve efficiency. Now, the digital world also uses the cloud, both public, private, or hybrid. Why is that? Because a lot of the providers that provide these collaboration tools provide them as a cloud offering, as a software, as a service. Now, are there going to be opportunities where there are non-cloud solutions? Absolutely. The big advantage of the cloud is your cost per user is fixed, and it's usually pretty low. You pay for what you use, as opposed to, you don't buy a Ferrari when you need a Mustang. So you pay for what you use, and it keeps your cost down. So there's going to be companies out there that need to start cloud implementations. They got to start migrating applications. They got to do integrations between the different applications. Example being, if you're incorporating digital tools into your business applications, integration needs to happen. And a lot of that's going to happen in the cloud. So that's what's needed in a bimodal world. We talked about what is changing, what is the technology that's changing, and how businesses are going to have to adapt to this. What we haven't talked about is what is the financial impact of a bimodal world. Now today, if you look at these companies that are working in an agile manner, getting things out very quickly, especially these internet-based companies, as well as marketing organizations, sales and marketing organizations within several large companies, they don't look at financial impacts the same way as a traditional company would. It's all about speed to market, It's all about how do you increase revenue very, very quickly. And so they're all in and spend the money and the time it takes to grow and capture market share. Now, what happens consequently is a lot of these companies are not profitable. Some of the large SaaS companies, really with up to $1 billion in revenue, are not profitable. And what's going to happen when you bring that kind of mentality into a organization, especially on the operational side of the organization? So companies are going to implement this same standards that they use today into their bimodal IT operations or bimodal operations. Agile methodologies are going to require financial management and ROI, just like traditional management methodologies. Organizations are going to start looking at investments in innovation more closely and make sure that they understand how money is being spent and what is the return on those investments. It may not be 100% of the projects in those areas are going to be successful, but at the same time, over a period of time, it should be self-sustaining as well as bring in more revenues and add to the bottom line. The startup industry is a good example. And until last year, it was all about increasing revenue. Money was flowing in from VCs, and everybody was happy, growing, spending money, not worrying about expenses. This year, investors are asking for accountability. And what it really means is now you need to get your costs under control, your expenses under control. And a lot of these companies struggle with that because you don't have the systems in place. So it's going to be a two-way street. You're going to see the traditional businesses learn and use agile techniques that are going to help them react quickly and grow. And at the same time, these agile companies are going to have to stop and ask themselves, where am I spending money? How much am I spending? And how do I keep track of it? How do I reduce it? How do I become profitable? So that's what's going to happen in the bimodal world. Now, having talked about the changes that bimodal and digital are going to bring into organizations, where do project managers fit in all of this? Right. That's a question you're probably asking yourself. Let's take a look at project managers as a whole. Project managers are probably the best organized group in the world. You guys, through PMI and in some cases other institutions as well, are quite well organized, and you've employed standards and governance, and you put things in place so that people coming into the profession know what to do and how to do it, and are able to follow specific standards and governance. You're a very adaptable group. You go into different environments and run different projects of different types. Even though today we primarily talked about the information technology area, you're capable of running projects of different kinds, and that's where the adaptability comes. You go from different companies and are able to pick up and move the ball very, very quickly. You're structured and you manage with metrics, so you know how to track and control both your expenses as well as time. You know how to track progress. So a lot of that is all done through metrics. So you know how to manage with metrics. Now, you also know how to manage change, because that's all you do. You manage change, not just in the change that goes into the production environment for your organizations. You also manage change within your project and how it impacts it. You plan for the change and you get that approved so that it can be communicated to everyone and the change made even within the project. Now, You also solve issues, risks, defects, and problems as part of your everyday life. Now, these qualities are very useful in the real world, right? You have these capabilities. This doesn't go away whether you're a project manager or you do something else. So really speaking, you know how to make it rain. There is no dryness around you. You know how to make it rain and help everybody move along, implement change. Wow. Didn't we see this before? Did I make a mistake? Nope. Nope. Is it half empty or half full was the question the last time around. The answer is neither. There's more than one cup with opportunities in both. So you can look at it as there's opportunities in the traditional world defined by stability and opportunities in the newer mode with agility. So you have opportunities for both on both sides of the bimodal modes. So what do we conclude after we've gone through all of the changes, the financial impacts, and what it means to you? Really, it's not about where you fit, but what are you going to do? You have the skills, and you can choose what part of the change you're going to be involved in. That's really up to you. Now, I've chosen to provide a simple integrated management biometrics tool to enable bimodal digital organizations. What are you going to do?